BW Mr. Mirza, Mohammed, Toufiq. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us on our show on Botswana Television.
Good evening, and thanks for having me. And it's Changemakers is something that it's an umbrella organization, you can say. And the main goal is what we do basically is not just centered around Christmas. Basically, it's something that happens throughout the year. So our goal is to make sure that those that need the needs are fulfilled of those that need. It's not just catered to one certain activity alone. We cater a long range of activities, from blood drives to food donations to clothes donations. So it's not a one thing. It's not just like, okay, on Christmas we are going to do 1, 2, 3. No, it doesn't end there. It's like we do multiple things.
All right. Why was it important to channel your energy towards that? And the umbrella word or the name of the organization, Changemakers, why is it important to make sure that we make change in people's lives?
Yeah, so basically what we realized was, by the way, we are not paid. We don't take commissions or something. Normally what we realize is that there are organizations that are run by foreign expatriates who see Botswana as a charity case, you know, and you know, it's a good thing to do charity, but when you use charity as a means to now make money out of it in the process as well. When I say we are all, we don't get paid, basically we are a group of volunteers. We have an 8 to 5. We take our own time to work under this, and we don't take a commission for the time that we put in. Even we can spend our own money into this. So we realized that other individuals were using charity as a way to make money, and so the right amount of funds were not going to the people in need. That's why we did our own thing, whereby 100% of the funding goes to the people that require that funding. So that way we are cutting out those organizations that are taking a cut, you could say.
Most definitely. All right. Now, you mentioned that this is not an event. It's something that is going on, and you look into different situations. It's not like we are going to do this charity work only. You talked about blood donation and all those the things that you're doing. How can we shift the focus as we're talking about the holiday charity from short-term donations to fostering long-term community support? Because at the end of the day, it shouldn't be an event, as you've already mentioned.
So the main goal is to look at the root of the problem. If someone calls you right now and says, "Can I Christmas? Can you just send me 1,000 pula hela? Can I have maybe 2 young kids or something?" That'll be a once-off thing. You might say, "Okay, this guy, I went to primary with him. Let me just send him e-wallet 1,000 pula, done and dusted." But that doesn't solve the problem. What you have just given him is an incentive to ask for more. So what we look at is the root cause, and that's also something that, when I mentioned earlier on, it's something that we do throughout the year. So with our local VDC and with our local khotla, what we do is we target individuals who require assistance that can also help them earn their own money. For example, we have some individuals who we don't give them money per se, cash, but we give them equipment. For example, we give them equipment for cutting hair, and then he can start his own small salon, you know, and that way we are you know, there's a saying, if you give a man a fish, he will eat for a night, but if you teach him how to fish, he will eat over and over again, basically. So that's what we are doing. We are not just giving them money so that they can eat for one night. We are giving them so that they can continue the resources to build themselves.
All right, you are capacitating them so that in the future, when you are not there, they can still sustain themselves. So in what ways can we ensure that charitable efforts during the festive season are inclusive and address the needs of marginalized or overlooked people? Because some are say you are going to help your friends or the people that you know. How do we strike a balance to make sure that our help goes to those who need, and we don't only do it during the festive season as we are doing?
So when you talk about marginalized groups, we have to start from our side first, the givers. So in our organization, and by the way, when I said it was an umbrella, remember we also have, so we have associates that we work with also. The Strondlev by Sebacha is a very good organization, so she works with also unpaid volunteers. And then we have Animal Assist Botswana, run by an amazing person called Stacy. Also 100% of the funds there, also they go for the animals. So we work with other individuals, and we make sure that the people that we work with or we are associated with are also individuals that cater straight to the people, and there is no cuts being taken. Another thing what we do is that, remember I mentioned we were volunteers. So how do we get volunteers? It's because you know someone that knows someone. So everyone in this group is from different communities, from different, you could say, socio-economic statuses as well. I've got Richie. Richie is someone I know for more than 20 years. You know, he's from Kanye. And I've got other individuals who are, we've got people who are Kalanga, we've got Bangwatu, we've got Bakatla, we've got Bangaketsi, we've got every different corner of the country, you could say. And it's not about like, maybe in case you're talking about race, there is this tendency of I don't know if you know the term charity porn. You know, white people have this tendency, the white man savior thing, you know, if you've heard of that term. And most of these organizations, they have this thing whereby a white man, someone who has, and they are Botswana actually, but someone who has never gone through the public education system, someone who has never sat on those benches and eaten those chappies and champions and eaten those sampa and palich at the kitchen would not relate to that marginalized group in those schools. Someone as me, who has done my PSLE, JC, BGCSE in government, I'm someone that knows what it feels like to be on those benches. So when we go to those schools, in fact, those are actually my former schools. So we are well aware of what are the needs of those students. And in fact, one of the schools that we could say we go often to it's Linsui Junior in Muchuri, and it's a school for visually impaired. It's also a hostel. So they stay within the school as well. And imagine a time like this. Right now, it's holiday season. And imagine if a child is there, has no one. It affects your psychology, and that's why, we also have this thing through another organization. It's called Aero BW. We have made an AI health bot that can converse to you in Setswana and Kalanga as well. So we are also going to be giving them a free subscription of that, so that they can even at least talk to this and have some form of, like, if not human connection, at least technology can be, used for this kind of service.
And provide that companionship, as you've already mentioned. So how does the commercialization of the holiday season impact the genuine spirit of giving, and how can we counteract that? Because you earlier on mentioned the issue that we shouldn't, just form these organizations to say we are going to make profit out of it. You said you don't even make profit. You are volunteers. How do we have to make sure that this is genuine spirit?
Yeah, so when we talk about commercialization, I was having a recent conversation with Advocate Cole. He's a good friend of mine. And, we went over some legislation from a country where they have a clause that says that if you are MNC, a multinational corporation, and you make a turnover of 100 million, it's mandatory on your company to give 2% of your profits under corporate social responsibility. Now, we have CSR in Botswana, but do you know that, okay, I'm not going to mention the name of the company, but they made a turnover of 4.5 billion, and their profits was 891 million, and in the 12 calendar months that passed, they donated 2 million, and even that 2 million, it was under the guise of marketing. Because right now it's December, and you go, I'm not going to mention names, but you and I and everyone watching knows the companies. You go out there to the mall, you will see so many promotions, cars giveaways, vouchers giveaways. But do you know that you are buying something to be part of that? So it's like you purchase.
You're still making.
You are making them money. You are making them money. It's termed as marketing. That expense. Can if I say, I'm owner of that supermarket, for example, and I give you that 1.5 million car, amongst a population of 2.5 million as per the 2022 census, that 1.5 million is nothing because it is bringing in the revenue that is greater than that. So companies have started using charity as a way to market. Charity has become a marketing tool. And even in their books, they can justify it. They can say, no, this one falls under marketing expense. It goes under that. Do you know, you go to Facebook and you want to promote something, like recently FNB had a competition also. They promote by offering, you can have like competitions, right? When you have a competitions, there's always this thing like sharing and forwarding and these things. That is organic marketing. So that's the commercialization that we have faced. And now to counteract that, I'm coming to the second part of your question, how to counteract that. So what we can do is have an oversight committee. And we do have Bokongo, Botswana Congress of Non-Governmental Organizations. But it's like, there was a League of Nations after World War I, but it didn't do anything. So Bokongo is weak. And also one thing we realize is that youth are not part of these things. It's run by individuals who have other, you could be a director in so-and-so organization and you're also on the board of this thing. So you have multiple responsibilities and you don't focus on one. So what we need is youth engagement. What we need is give the youth a seat at the table. And we are also planning on making an oversight committee whereby we will not be getting paid. Normally all these committees, they are getting paid. They are public servants. No, here we will not be paid. If we want to see, do you actually want to serve the people? You are just in it for the money. So there should be an oversight committee, and no one should be getting paid there. Yeah, I get you want to serve. So you don't get paid.
You just volunteer.
You volunteer.
If you've just joined, just remember we are in conversation here with Mirza Mohammed, Mr. Mirza Mohammed, founder of Changemakers.BW. We're talking about the spirit of giving, especially as we're getting into our festive season. What is it that we ought to be doing, or the organizations that are making sure to go out to the public and serve for those who are in need of these services? Earlier on, you mentioned the issue of empathy. We will get into that. In fact, we are getting into that right now. What role does empathy play in motivating individuals to engage in charitable actions, and how can we cultivate more empathy during this festive season? You mentioned that you are in touch with those with the situation. It's not like you are, making decisions from a higher echelons.
So haribu ka empathy arisimula ka junior. I don't know where your education was, but I went to public school, and in JC Form 3 there is a subject called moral education. Every Botswana that has gone to public school knows that there is an entire chapter just about empathy. So empathy is a core belief, just like you could say botho. Every Botswana has that in them. Now, when it comes to this question of yours of how it plays the role in motivating, I'll give you a real life story. There was a young lad, he came back from university, it was during COVID, and his grandfather got ill and he passed on because of COVID. And then a week after that, his dad got sick, and his dad was in the hospital also. And he found out, he was on the way, and he was driving, and he got a call, and he said the dad has passed on as well. 2 people are gone, and they were breadwinners. So he picked up his mother, he went and picked up his sister. His sister was making breakfast for the father, so he saw his sister make breakfast for a dead man. And he picked up his sister, they went to the hospital. As a young lad, 20 years old, he signed the documents to release the body from the morgue. After that, after the burial happened and everything, at the night of the burial, that individual was alone. Everyone that came had left. Remember, it was COVID. They didn't want to stay. There was one friend of his that stayed. So this individual asked the friend, "Sir, why are you spending time with me at this time? Do you know that you could get sick?" So that friend said to him, "I'd rather get sick than sit at my home and know that you are suffering." And it's that day, and to this day, that person is still trying to repay that friend. By the way, the person that I'm talking about is sitting in front of you. I was talking about my own story. And to this day, the friend I'm mentioning, his name is Uzeromerji. What he did that day for me, I cannot repay. I have gone to him, giving him gifts and this and that. Even his parents say, "You have done enough." But when you do something for someone when they really need you, it's not about money, by the way. It was not financial.
Yeah.
So that's empathy, basically. Now imagine how it affected me that I'm part of so many NGOs. I have done so many activities over the past 3 years. Imagine if someone calls you, and if something like that happens into your life. This is a real life example of how empathy plays an important role in changing perspectives and in giving back. Because you see, now that led me to try and overcompensate and give back. And I think it's a mental thing. You will never, because when you need something and someone gives you, it's way different from when you don't need it.
Most definitely.
Exactly, sir.
All right. This one cuts deep as we're wrapping up our conversation now. Can acts of charity during the festive season help bridge some societal, divides and create a more connected society? Because we're talking about the divisions that we are seeing within our communities. It could be racial, it could be, different forms of, our divisions. Putting this at the core or at the center, how does this bridge us together?
Yes, sir. Charity is something that normally it's looked as a very good thing. So no matter you are from which race, religion, gender even, anyone can be part of this. And when we are together, in certain organizations, people are encouraged to be more tolerant. So it does build tolerance within the volunteers. It shows you the importance of tolerance and accepting the differences. We should celebrate each other's differences. We should not fight over our differences, but we should come together. What he has, it should be something that brings value to you. You shouldn't look at it as something that is degrading you. Look at it as something that is, uplifting you. So when we do charity works like this, we work with different communities. We work with different individuals from all walks of life. A person who has 100 million and a person who has 1 million can sit on the same table and eat the same food. At the end of the day, that's what we are trying to show, Jorge. Don't put yourself on a high pedestal. The reason why we have our own organization which works like this is because there are organizations. For example, there is a very well-known restaurant chain. When you go to their drive-thru, they will ask you, Jorge, say, 2 pula for the kids. You know what they do? At the end of the year, they at Stanbic, at the golf grounds, they play golf there, and then they say under the guise of charity. When you are at MNC, you need our 2 pulas. No, sir. If you want to give your 2 pula, there is a boy there selling that lollipop. I'd rather give it to him. In fact, when you are going there, it's summer right now. When you're on the roads, you are stopped by those guys selling ice pops. Sometimes I just give them 3 pula there. If you want to give your 2 pulas, 3 pula, give it to them. Don't even take the ice pop. Just give it to them if you want to do charity. But stop paying MNCs who are going to use that money to pay golf.
All right.
Yes.
Now, as we wrap up the conversation, you mentioned something partly, but I want us to delve much into it as we wrap up the conversation. Someone might be listening to our conversation right now and they don't know how they can contribute, or they don't know what exactly are the needs of those who are marginalized or those who need this. You said earlier on that you need, it counts more when you give to someone when they are in need of that thing. So maybe I shouldn't be misplacing the need or just provide because I'm taking heed to the call. How do I, delve much into this and make sure that I provide the need where it's needed?
So how about Tusa? Do contact us on our, you can go to our Insta, you can go to our social medias, do contact us. We will assist you as best as we can depending on where you want to contribute. Because if you're someone even on the other side of the country, we work, remember I said we work with other organizations, we are an umbrella. So we can tell you, XYZ, it's 100%, they give 100%. XYZ, they don't, they will take commission. So our goal is not, don't give us money. We don't want money. That's the thing. We tell people, don't send us money. Send us, for example, right now it's Christmas, we'll be going to our school for the hostel, so we need clothes for the kids, food, and we are also paying for their subscriptions for this thing, Health Pal that I told you about. So we don't take money. When we did the road safety, we were handing out free beverages to the motorists. We're handing out free oil top-ups to the motorists. We don't deal with money because we are trying to show people, it's not always about money. There are other things. Sometimes it could be simple as just sitting with that individual. There is SOS Village in Tlokeng.
Yeah.
If you want to do something, first of all, I just say, take off your suit and everything, go in a civilian clothes and go sit with that child and talk to him. That's the best you can do. This festive, if you're not doing anything, go to Tlokeng and talk to those kids.
Most definitely. And that is how we come to the end of a conversation. I believe you have charged a lot of us right now to develop that spirit of giving. If at all, we thought maybe something about money, the last words that you've said, that just your presence can make a big difference. Thank you so much for such.
Thank you, sir.
And that is how we come to the end of the conversation. I had in studio with me, Mr. Mirza Mohammed Toufiq, and that is the founder of Changemakers.BW, talking about the spirit of giving as we are going into festive. Don't move. I'm coming right back with the 7 o'clock news.
Ke ne ke tsere kgang